Welcome. In front of you is a pile of scrap that I'm going to use. And my project is a can ram. That's what I'm going to call it. Now, I do a lot of aluminium casting, so I need to compress the cans in order to get a lot of them chucked into the crucible. That saves a lot of gas because when you throw in cans one by one, you stand there for hours and your eyes get dried out and it's just a big mess. So my idea is to compress the cans into this tube here, and then with a sufficient amount compressed, you can fill up the crucible, and while that is busy melting, you can fill up this canister again and compress the next batch, and that will save you a lot of gas. Now, this 10mm plate that I've got here, I need to cut it out a disc that's going to fit in loosely inside this tube. And then I'm going to use this rod as an extension to go down this tube here in the middle. And then these two pieces is going to form spacers. Now, this is the thickest rod I've got. It's 30mm, and on my hydraulic press, the ram on it is around 40mm in diameter. So my idea is to use these two pieces of tube to form basically a collar that's going to sit on the top here around the neck, and that's going to stop the ram from sliding out from underneath the ram. It's just a safety feature. I might cut this in half and do a joint in the middle with this piece of tube here. Reason for that is you've got a limited amount of travel on the hydraulic press, and you don't want to move the table from the press up and down. Instead of doing that, you just split this rod and then have a joint in there which you can use to make your adjustment. So hopefully it's something you'll enjoy. There will be some rotary table action on a mill and a little bit of turning, or a lot of turning for that matter. Now the reason why I'm going to use a rotary table is for this plate here. Now there's two ways of doing this. You can either draw out more or less an outline of the plate that you want cut out, and cut it out of a grinder, or go to a bandsaw or something and cut it out. But I'm not going to go that route. Now, this method that I'm suggesting, I've done it before when I was doing my little wigwag steam engine, and that is to bolt this down on a rotary table and then do a cut around the outside edge. So when you're done with this with the end mill, as you rotate the rotary table, you just plunge down in a ramp formation and then gradually work your way down. And when you're done, you're already on finish size. It's just another method of doing it. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. That's a method I'm going to use here. So hopefully you find it entertaining and useful. So let me get set up. Okay, my setup completed here. Took me around 10 minutes. First marked out the center of this plate from the sides, and close to the side as possible to get proper cleanup because I've got existing holes in the plate. Now, the spindle is center with the rotary table center, and then the center mark is also right underneath the center of the spindle. Now I'm holding it down with my H clamps. If you haven't made yourself a set of H clamps, these things are a must have. Ever since I've made these H clamps, I've been using them extensively and they're very handy. Now, my idea here is to drill a 6mm hole through the wood and through the steel, because I've got a threaded hole in the middle that's 6mm, so I'm going to use that to bolt this plate down. I'm still deciding on how I'm going to hold the end, just to keep it from rotating while I'm milling. I might just leave the bolts in here with a couple of washers because it's very close to the sides, but I don't want anything in the path of the end mill when I do the outside perimeter. So yeah, let me drill a hole and then start milling. I think that should do. Okay, so I want a diameter of 68mm. So that means I need to move it out by 34mm plus 3mm, the radius of the cutter. That will give me 37. And I'm going to add a 0.5mm for a cleanup pass, so that I'm going to move it up 37.5mm. It's not a very critical dimension. I've just chosen it for a nice loose fit in that tube, and to make sure that I will be able to get the ram out in case there's any distortion. So what I'm going to do now, you'll see there's a hole here, and I've purposely moved it close to that position. It will just assist me in plunging down. Yeah, that's close enough. Now, as you can see, I've got a minimum amount of material wastage, and the pot looks pretty decent, and I'm happy with it as it is. As a rule, if I remove a carbide end mill from my collets, I put a rack underneath, because if it slips out and it falls down and it doesn't chip a cut or anything. Just a little safety precaution. And it didn't chip a cutter. Okay, now I'm going to chamfer this side here. Just need to lock the table before I drop the coil here. Chamfer should be straightforward. Just doing a very light chamfer. I just want to break the edge. That's it. my ram is done, and I'm happy with the test. I think it held out very well. I was just concerned whether this plate is going to be thick enough for the pressure, but it seems to hold, so there's no issues there. So I don't need to put any gussets or anything on there. Well, this thing is going to save me a lot of labor, because every time I want to fill up a crucible of aluminium cans, then it takes me around 15 to 20 minutes of hammering a couple of cans flat to fill up the crucible. Now it took me about 5 minutes to get 11 cans squashed. So there's already a labor saving exercise there happening. Now it should go a lot quicker if I can convert my hydraulic press to a hydraulic pneumatic press, or pneumatic hydraulic, whichever way you want to call it, in which you use the compressor to build up your pressure. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, cheers.